me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet.
Mr. Elkins, how the heck are you, buddy?
Doing awesome, EP. Good to see you, man. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, fresh and live after a probably eventful weekend, either on the racetrack with a car or a racetrack with kids.
All the above.
I was going to say, or all of the above, exactly. Man, let's warm this up today. Think back, speaking of kids, let's go back to, let's say, 18 years and below. I want you to think for a second, awards, trophies, accolades. Was there one award that you got that really meant more than all the rest? Maybe it was based on the coach. Maybe it was based on the achievement with the team. Maybe it was based on your grandfather was there to see it, or something, or all the above, or something really that stood out where even to this day, it left an effect or created an effect to have you be the subject matter expert and the professional that you are as you've built out your career through the years.
Yeah. I mean, like a childhood award. I mean, you know me, sports guy. So I would say probably, I know I got a couple awards for high school football, but I would say one was a leadership award. So, whether I was captain of the football team or not, or being recognized for leadership on and around the field, that means a lot. That means that, you're a leader in the locker room, leader in the huddle, leader on the practice field, and making sure that everybody's focused on the mission and on the same page. So I would say, probably that one on the spot.
But you don't have all the trophies loaded up on the desk, or if we pan to the right, we're going to see all these trophies with soccer balls, footballs, and probably just going to see golf balls on your desk is my guess.
I'm sure they're in a parent's attic somewhere. They probably still exist, but no, don't have the menagerie.
Well, we're going to be talking about awards here today. I'm excited to have Barrett on the show to talk about it. And, I was thinking of what's the warm-up question to ask him. I know a lot of startups out there, they get all these glass awards and they go on to social media and they post them. Some of them actually take them to a show and put them up on the table. And I don't know, sometimes it's like bragging. It's like if you talk to somebody and they've got all their trophies behind them. You think of some of the pros that are out there that do their interviews, and they don't do that. But, at the end of the day, one or two of them usually means something very sentimental. So I know this award that we're going to be talking about and the finalists that we're going to be talking about today, it's a real big deal. And speaking of that, it's all in relationship to Black Hat. Are you ready to do this damn thing?
I am, man. This is exciting. I love pitches. I love startups and learning about the innovation in each of the individual disciplines of cybersecurity that these folks that have been nominated for Black Hat Startup Spotlight, are innovating. So let's go.
Let's do this. My name is EP, and this is Epic Hype.
Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like.
Okay, today's sponsor is Tier 4 AI. Time is money and money is crime. So why are your teams still chasing alerts? Tier 4 AI automates every security alert with full stack remediation and real-time response at the edge. This isn't just next-gen SecOps. This is built by the people who built the cloud. Reduce time, save money, stay secure. That, my friends, is Tier 4 AI. Go to tier4ai.com and request a demo today. And don't forget to use promo code EPIC to receive a nice discount from my friend, the marvelous Marvin Wheeler. There you go. Joining me on this high voltage episode of Epic Hype is a guy who doesn't know just security. He lives it. He breathes it. And he sells it like a weapon. He's advised the Fortune 500 powered channel strategies and helped more startups go to market than a Black Hat badge printer. He's the deal maker, the story breaker, and today he is my co-pilot for the Startup Spotlight, where only the bold survive. Barret Elkins, finally, man, welcome to Epic Hype.
Thank you, EP. So what an intro. I will do my best to live up to all of that. But fantastic. I wanted to do this with you for literal years, and here we are.
Yeah, man. It's like we've hung together at a couple of startups and had some fun, and definitely some challenges. That's startup
Look what I
life.
brought for you.
Look at that. You got the old school.
Cloud knocks, right? Some people are going to be wondering where these guys know each other. Huh?
The silence and the cloud knocks. Yes. I love that. Black Hat Startup Spotlight is where we are going today. I did this with Shaggy, aka Scott Shefferman, for the Innovation Sandbox for RSA back at the end of April. And I thought Barrett was going to be a fantastic host to ride as my wingman here, as I said, co-pilot, to do this for the Startup Spotlight. So Barrett and I are going to be dropping in to the heart of all the Black Hat Startup Spotlight finalists. There's only 4 of them. I think you get 10 over at RSA. They only do 4. Not exactly the understand the formula for that, but it is 4. And these are basically, this is a launch pad for potential cybersecurity next unicorns. You never know. We're going to be taking a deep dive into each of these finalists, their mission, founder inspiration, what's the problem that they're fixing, have they gotten funded, how much, just anything that we could grab out of the ether. Now, listen, Barrett and I, we are subject matter experts in talking and hyping. We've been in the cyber game for quite a long time. So these are opinions, but we're trying to get a lot of facts out there as well. So don't hold it against us. What we hope that you guys take from this is that you guys are going to go visit any one of these, if not all 4 of these finalists, and get more information from them. So we're really hyped about it, really excited. Barrett, why don't you kind of lean up and tell us what is the Spotlight Award all about? Why should people care about this? And how is it relevant for what's happening next week out in Las Vegas?
Yeah, sure. So if you think about all of the sponsors, right, and how much Black Hat has grown over the years, it's a huge number. And there's an organization within Black Hat that I believe is part of a steering committee. Then they say, you know what, let's focus on the startups. And so what they do is they take a bunch of entries and narrow it down to 4, right, to offer up this pitch stage at Black Hat USA, where the brightest startups that are under 5 years old with under 50 employees. So there's some criteria in there as well, and they get to shine with a live 5-minute pitch. And it's not just where you go on and you give 90 seconds or 3 minutes or whatever it is, and then fingers crossed. There's actually interaction, right, and grilling Q&A from the judges and expert panel as well. And then one winner walks away with a major audience and analyst attention. They actually win, more than just notoriety too. They get a booth, they get a theater pitch slot, and some other things that kind of go along with it. I mean, again, it's a big booster. There's bragging rights, of course, but it gets attention and eyes from customers, obviously, which is the purpose of it. But then the VC community, sellers, right? It just creates more momentum, usually at a pivotal stage of the startup itself.
Yeah, and I like how you referenced the theater pitch. I think they get like a 20-minute slot in the theater that's open to the public on the business floor. So the actual pitch that they do in front of the judges, and there's about 9 of them. Let me just pop this up and share this with everybody. Give them a little props because they deserve it, right? You guys can see them. So hello, Colleen, Trey, Holly, Matthew, Sid, Robert, Lucas, Brooke, and Michaela. These are the judges. 5 minutes. And this is not public. Not just anybody can walk in and watch this. You got to be invited into that. Let's go into the context of the history of this competition. So as I mentioned earlier, RSA has the Innovation Sandbox. This one only goes back a few years. In 22, I think this is the 3rd year, Phylum won the inaugural award. Yes, it was in 22. 23, Mob, the 2 Bs, took the crown. And then the last year was Gnostic. So here we go. Year 4. Barrett, who do we have as the 4 finalists for 2025?
Yeah, so we've got Firetail AI, which is doing, it sounds like a little bit of AI SPM, so security posture management with a focus in API security, which I'm definitely interested to learn more about. You've got Keep Aware, so that's going to be real-time browser security, Prime security, and then Twine security.
Prime, Twine, Keep Aware, and Fire.
That's right.
Sounds like something we might take to an outing with the kids for Boy Scouts. Keep Aware, get the Twine, get some Fire. Let me ask you, man. You're not on this panel of 9, but if they needed somebody to step in, they're calling Barret Elkins. What's like 1 or 2 things, all the startups that you've worked with, advising customers, partners, all the rest of it, but judging these people that are up there, what's like 1 or 2 things that really stands out for you? And by the way, I love what you did. I'm going to say it feels like it was about 2 months ago. Barrett puts a post out there. And I think I actually talked about this on one of my previous shows. He puts a post out there. Hey, friends, here comes the badge, open for work. And he goes, here's the deal. Not only am I open for work, but I'm going to take my time and I'm going to do my homework. He puts it out there that he's going to do 100 meetings. Did you put a timeline on it, Barrett?
Prior to Black Hat.
Prior to Black Hat.
Yeah.
I believe I got the luxury of being 38.
You
37?
were, yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. And I probably would have been earlier, but I told him, hey, I'm going to be overseas for 5 weeks. So hit me back in mid-July. And his objective was taking your time and kind of putting it out there in the universe to see what comes to you. And I know you didn't get to 100 because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got to maybe 50 and you're like, EP, man, I have found the one. I remember how excited you were about this. What did you get to? How many meetings did you actually get to?
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, I was in a scenario where, I was part of a big riff, and I decided from day one, without even talking to anybody yet, without making my mind up what I was going to do, I actually went onto Amex Travel and I booked my flight and my hotel personally for Black Hat. And so then I set out to say, all right, well, it's about a month away. So I'm going to have 100 distinct live conversations and activate my network, right? My peers, friends, customers, etc., and friends of friends, and just learn what's out there, where can I make an impact, what's prescient now, and all of that to kind of inform my decision-making process for joining my next firm, right? Where I could see myself making the biggest impact, and then maybe going partying a little bit at Black Hat and having a loose agenda, right? And then potentially walking out of there with either a decision made or some decisions to be made. So I mean, I ended up with over 40 something in the first 8 days.
Yeah,
which was exhausting, but it paid off. If I were a judge and I had to jump in there, I think I would apply a lot of my, so I don't want to call it like interview, but finding the right fit process. And it comes down to differentiation and then demonstrable value. Okay, so and a lot of times that can be pretty difficult for early stagers, like the ones that are in the spotlight, because they may not have a ton of customers yet. Could be a dozen, it could be 5 that are huge. I mean, but what I need to know is differentiation. So what that means is not only differentiation in your space, but I need to understand, especially if they're targeting the enterprise market, which many of them are, is if I am, depending on which cybersecurity discipline I am in, what do I know about the enterprise customers that they're going to be subscribed to a platform? So the Defender stack, CrowdStrike stack, Palo stack, et cetera. And is my specific solution, do I overlap? Am I directly competing? Right. so that I can understand whether it's a me too, right? As many things you and I have seen in the past tend to be, or if it's truly innovative in the space, and an enterprise would be foolish to skip a meeting with you, knowing that they're big platforms that they've invested in. They've definitely invested in one of those. Is doing the exact same thing. So then the second side of differentiation is, all right, well, what does horizontally does that space look like? And so that's when I try to, apply maybe some Gartner term or buzzwords around that. Yeah. And then horizontally, what is everybody else claiming that they're doing? And then that goes into taking a look into the founding team, existing folks, how are they interconnected? Who do I know there, et cetera? Now, if I was a judge, that plays less of a part.
Right.
But yeah, differentiation so that I can very quickly, in 2-3 sentences, understand not only the specific, sort of vertical, like the pillar, the whatever you want to call it, discipline area, right, that they're differentiating in, but how are they doing it, right, against the competition as well. That's what I really want to know right away.
Yeah, I think to sum it up too, like how quickly can they get right to the root of what the problem is that they're fixing and why they are the market fit.
Correct.
The timing is right. So speaking of that, we are going to talk about AI. The first one that's up to bat, we got 4 of them today for you guys, right? Let's jump into it. Firetail. Okay. Their website is firetail.ai. Okay. So Firetail AI APIs are the new attack surface. And Firetail is bringing some heat, real-time API visibility, anomaly detection, and AI-powered insights. They don't just find the threat, they're actually stopping it mid-packet. So we've got co-founder Jeremy Snyder. He's the former cybersecurity practitioner turned product leader. He's got 10 plus years of security and cloud experience with his co-founder, who is the CTO, and that would be Riley Priddle, and he's a longtime DevOps security engineer focused on foundational API runtime protection. These guys set up shop just about 4 years ago, founded in 21, back east, just north of you, my friend, McLean, Virginia. And their mission is to secure every API and AI integration before the code hits production. Think about that right there. Before the code hits production, we all know if there's something happening earlier in the not the kill chain, but the actual development stage, that's going to create a lot of problems later. Their differentiator is real-time threat detection. They have AI, API, native design, and SOC 2 certification. They got funding in December of 22 from Paladin Capital Group. They got $5 million. Here's what their edge is. They're built for AI and cloud-first enterprises. So they're defending against prompt injections and model abuse. Now, you might be asking, well, why is that a big deal? Well, 83% of breaches now stem from APIs, 83%. So Firetail isn't just watching, they're actually out there actively blocking these problems. And speaking of problems, let's talk about what the problem is that's on the map that these guys are going after. APIs are the new perimeter. So they're invisible to most of the security teams that are out there. And if you have poor visibility, you don't have the transparency you need, you have weak identity enforcement. These guys have APIs. They're recognizing APIs are the easiest thing for where you're going to have an entry point with a breach, right? So how do you fix that? Firetail provides full API visibility. So visibility is always huge in security. Attack surface reduction and inline runtime protection, making APIs observable, governable, love that, and secure. I love the fact that they got the governable part in there because that's a real big deal for CISOs that Barrett and I talk to. My personal take on this one, Barrett, if APIs are the nervous system of modern apps, Firetail is the AI-powered immune system catching threats in real time before they actually infect your business. I don't know if you got a couple of cents to add to all that, but that's the first one that we have today, Firetail.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's important for customers who are exposing AI models, tools, partners from that space into specific applications across the enterprise, right? Embedding them into processes, and then trying to get visibility into all the plumbing that connects everything, right? And it's important. I mean, I was working with a global enterprise on Security Copilot, and we had multiple third-party plugins that were extensible into the platform, but they required API. And because they weren't comfortable, right, going outside those trust boundaries and exposing that specific tool to Security Copilot, and so they didn't move forward in the proof of concept with that. Later, certainly, but a tool like this would have made that a lot easier and that decision a lot easier. And then you magnify that by hundreds or thousands of APIs across yeah, I mean, I can definitely see this being a strong need.
All right, we're going to go to our second one that you're going to take, and this is with our friends over at KeepAware.
So KeepAware is the second contestant, if you will, and no agents, no proxies, no delay, just native browser protection with zero friction and maximum visibility. Security isn't just about locking things down. KeepAware gives humans the tools to fight back in real time where it matters most, in the browser. The browser is the next and new battleground, and KeepAware is the sniper on the rooftop. So we've got Ryan.
Yeah, it's Ryan Berner, and that's him actually right up here in the video. That's Ryan right there. This guy, he's an Aggie. Love this guy. I've had the opportunity to talk to him a few different times, and he's got a great backing behind him too. When you list off who his funding is, Mr. Berner.
Yeah. So Ryan Berner, ex-SOC analyst, cybersecurity detection engineer of background, IBM and Darktrace. Noah Schaefer is CTO. So they've been around since 2022, headquartered out of Austin. And their mission is human-centric browser security to close browser blind spots and secure modern workflows. So the tech edge for them is real-time behavioral detection in browser. It's agentless, which is interesting, and human-powered security model, right? The problem, when modern threats target the user, not just the endpoint. So traditional security tools miss contextual user behavior like phishing in Slack or data leaks in Google Drive, for example. So the fix, KeepAware, human layer defense platform that gives real-time visibility into how users interact with risk across all SaaS and cloud environments. So looks like they've raised a little bit, $2.4 million by Live Oak as a seed round back in 2023.
Yeah, shout out to Dave Endler out there with his venture capital company that's backing these guys. And I know these guys are they got a buzz going right now over there. I'm really excited for them. And they got Ryan Evans heading up over the sales over there. So shout out to Ryan Evans. And I'm cheering for these guys. I talk to the guys that at the VAR level, right? The VARs, the MSPs, and what I hear from what they need, KeepAware is checking a lot of the boxes for them. All right, moving on to our third finalist for the Black Hat Startup Spotlight competition. We're talking about Prime Security. What if your product team had an AI architect sitting next to them saying, hey, don't forget to secure that endpoint? That's exactly what Prime Security does. Security from the inside out. This is how you flip DevSecOps on its head. Prime doesn't wait for code. They prevent the breach before the first line is even written. Now, we got not one, not two, not three, but four co-founders with this organization. We got Michael, Dimitri, Matan, and Danny. I'm not going to pronounce the last names because I know I'll flub those. So those four gentlemen, you got CEO, CPO, VP, and product and engineering, respectively. They launched in 23. As PrimeSec Inc., and they have two offices, not only here in the U.S. and New York City, but also based out of Tel Aviv. A lot of great cyber coming out of there. Their mission, embedded AI-driven guardrails directly into the design phase of product development, empowering security teams to detect and mitigate risk before code is written, achieving truly secure by design workflows. So the problem that these guys are out there fixing is security teams are, let's try that again because I just flubbed that. Fuck. I thought I had that problem, but I don't, so I'm not going to say it. Okay, in 3. So the inspiration for Prime Secure was looking at the delays and risk gaps caused by late-stage security intervention. That comes right from the founders. Their edge is basically their AI risk engine. Integration with Jira and Confluence and action-driven recommendations. Scale-first security is what they call it. These guys got some funding back in October of last year, and Prime Security has closed a $6 million seed round to get things going. And that would be Prime Security. So you guys can go to their website, which is primesec.ai. You got anything to add to the mix?
Yeah, I mean, I made a couple notes here too, and I'm wondering also if Sid is going to recuse himself from the voting because he, at Foundation Cap is a early investor in these guys. So shout out to Sid.
Nice call out.
But yeah, I mean, these guys fit squarely into PDLC, which is product design and the planning phases of basically SDLC, to where they need governance over every task that comes through to understand the risk in near real time, right? So I would imagine that most of the folks in DevOps and engineering don't have a security architect sitting right over their shoulder and watching them at every step of the way. And so it's automating a lot of that. And then secondarily, I would imagine that a lot of these organizations don't have a security architect whose full-time role is to sit there and watch, right, the output of all the various steps. So when there is risk, it's alerted on, it's going to bubble up to those security architects so that they can, in near real time, analyze that and fix and assess any risk that is identified as part of that build process.
Now, the judges can't pick their personal favorites, and we're not quite done yet. We got one more to go, but I think this is probably a good chance for me to throw it out there. I'm not going to be surprised if you, Barrett, have chosen this next one as your personal pick. I'm kind of neck and neck with Keep Aware and Twine. Twine's got a buzz coming from Red RSA. So that's why I think that they might be the favorite, but just throwing it out there. And again, we're not judges, so we do get to pick, and we get to have fun, and we're going to both be a black hat. And by the time I see you Wednesday night, the winner's already going to be announced. So we'll put our picks when you're done talking about Twine, who we're taking, and hopefully we don't have the same one. Let's make sure we don't. And then the winner's going to buy the other one, the first beer or shot, whatever we're doing, maybe both.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. So take the last one. We got one more to go. I've already let the cat out of the bag, but you're going to talk about who they are and what they're all about. Let's share them out, and that would be Mr. Barrett.
Twine Security.
Yeah, bring it to me. What are these guys all about?
Yeah, so this is a space, obviously, that's near and dear to my heart, having been a part of the go-to-market team with Security Copilot. And so what they're asking is, what if your cybersecurity team had a digital clone that never sleeps, it forgets nothing, and automates everything? So Twine Security, founded by ex-Clarity pros, backed by 1011 and Dell, and already turning the IAM space into a self-driving machine. They have an AI employee, Alex. I believe they're calling it a digital employee, is the new MVP and the security of your team. No badge required. So Twine isn't building tools, they're building teammates. Real AI-powered digital employees, there it is, that don't just suggest actions, they take them. And they're starting with the biggest pain in security, identity and access management. Yeah. So say hello to Alex, say goodbye to burnout.
Well, these guys definitely win for me on the 4 that we've seen for website. I'm not just into sales, but I'm into the whole branding and marketing, and these guys win out for that. But yeah, talk to me about your relevance or the relevance of this company. Go a little deeper in terms of your background with working with Microsoft, and even before that with CloudKnox endpoint in the cloud, and around APIs. What's your personal vibe? And by the way, did I guess right? This is probably your pick out of the 4.
I don't want to pick. What I want to do is I want somebody to come tap us on the shoulder, say they saw this content and that we got a couple of things wrong, and correct us.
Amen.
Let's have
Amen.
that conversation, because this is about exploring new companies who have an opportunity to really, take off with a prestigious award here. So, I mean, look, they've built an identity bot, okay, an agent, and I'm sure they would spit out their coffee if they were watching and seeing me say that. But that's what it is. And what I love about it, though, in the content that I was viewing on the website, is that it's not just an identity agent that is going to be sitting there looking for signal and running through, like triaging alerts and that type of things. I snapshotted here, and I'm going to read a few off of these here, but it is onboarding processes, user access reviews. If they have created a digital employee that is performing user access reviews in existing IGA platforms, and then basically making decisions, right, depending upon the autonomy and persona that they give Alex, and then sending over a yes or no with relevant content to the team principal or leadership member who typically would be the one to go in and manage that every 90 days. I would love to see that, because that is advanced stuff that takes so much time. Stale account cleanup. I mean, all the identity related things that teams cannot keep up with, even if they've got the, SailPoint, Savient, Oktas of the world, Microsoft, et cetera. And so I wonder, I would love to know a little bit more about the plumbing too. And I hope they make it very clear in their pitch about the integrations that they've got, that level of autonomy, exposure to data, the identity aspect of the digital employee itself, getting access, and then kind of pulling from multiple esoteric data sources to inform that decision making. So, I mean, look, it's definitely exciting. And this is a team that clearly has their finger on the pulse of what is needed in identity and access management. And then based on their growth and trajectory, they're going to come out with more that are relevant for customers to pick up and plug in. So
they all have a great story, and it's all going to come out next week. And here's the thing: everybody wins. I mean, there's only going to be one that wins the Spotlight Award, but they're already winning. All four of these companies, and even the runners up. And I think there was like a good handful. You guys can go over to the Black Hat website and see that. But anybody that's there at Black Hat next week in the startup city, you're a winner, because you're getting out there. Just make sure your story's being told. Make sure that you're finding out who's coming up to the booth, and you should have a couple different talk tracks. You should definitely have one for people that are all about the media hype. You should have one for those that are potential influencers, for the decision makers. And then obviously, if you got somebody that's there to shop for somebody else, if not themselves, get to the meat of what you do. Make it simple. Don't go through a 15-minute rant. You got to be good. You got to be simple. You got to be effective. And you got to be able to communicate that without losing them. And it's always good. I love it when I see startups do this, or their evangelist in the booth says, hey, before I give you information, can you share with me a little bit about who you are and what you do? Because what they're doing, guys, is they're trying to find out which talk track should I speak to. They have a few of them. So help them help you. Speaking of helping, man, you have been a big help today, Mr. Elkins. Thank you very much. I definitely want to give you an opportunity to talk about your new gig, what you're doing. If you're comfortable sharing it here, if you want to wait, then that's fine too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, thanks for asking and bringing it up. I'll, instead of being a free agent out at Black Hat, which was my original intent, I will be out there representing Binarly. So Binarly is a software supply chain security platform that has a very high pedigree from world-class researchers who have basically taken their brain power and institutional knowledge and put it into an offering where that is driving a number of use cases. And when I was looking for the differentiation, right, because you go out and you look up software supply chain, there's a lot that pops up. And so their differentiation is that they're able to perform not just one time, but continuous scanning of, firmware, software, containers, Linux binaries, right? And they're not just, they're going beyond, software bill of materials. So I think of it, sticking with the racetrack theme, anybody who is a motorsports nerd either loves or hates, depending on who their driver and team is, scrutineering. Are you familiar with that, EP?
Yeah.
So scrutineering comes in multiple flavors. Typically before a race, to make sure that you kind of comply with the standards to get on the track. And you've got, whether it's F1 or IMSA, WC, NASCAR, right? There's variations oftentimes in what good looks like, right? Before you go out and use the car. And then after that car has been used and before the next race and so on and so forth, that same scrutineering happens with that car. And so Binarly effectively is doing that with the binaries of software that they either might be procuring, putting into a product that they're selling, or as they are at the post build stages of their products and software. So
awesome.
Yeah, so they break it down, and then the demonstrable value, if you want to get into that, can certainly do that too. And it just, I was struck by the combination of that, the size of the customers that they've won, and the opportunity ahead. So excited to go out, kind of share the story, practice that new pitch, right? Like you said, everybody's got 20 different variations depending on who they're talking to. So it's a good testing ground out in Black Hat, and you got to get it in before probably 2 cocktails out in Black Hat, right?
Well, so, I'm glad that you dropped it here, because you have a nice following. And hopefully you're going to get this out, posted to your network, so people can get the skinny on what you're doing, and then catch up with you at Black Hat to have a further conversation, because you got some great C levels that I know you're excited and anxious to get binarily in front of. And you got a great guy over there, Dave Alfaro, that's cracking rocks over there. So I know it's going to be great. Yeah. And by the way, Dave's coming on the show tomorrow. So
I know.
Two binarily employees in 1 week.
Heavy dose.
We need to be squeezing a promo out of these guys. So good times, dude. I really
we are on the hype train.
Yeah. You and I'll catch you on the floor. I'll be at -5 Wednesday. So that's where I'm telling everybody, find me between 4 to 6. I'm going to do a fun game show that I'm launching in October. I'm going to be doing a preview there. So come find me there. Jen Winters has got an event there for innovation startups, speaking of which. There'll be, I believe, 7 in there. And we're going to have them busking, and I'll leave it at that. So -5, I'll post the link to the event in the body of this recording, this post. And Barrett, that's where you can find me. And I'm sure I'll find you somewhere on the floor as well. We'll have some fun. Find me at Startup City, baby. That's where I'll be. And we'll have a good time in Vegas.
You will not be easy to miss. EP is everywhere. Thank you, sir.
All right, brother. I'm going to get you out of here. I know you got some bills you got to go pay, and some more sales enablement training materials. Hey, before I let you go, one last thing. I know it's not a TV antenna. Which circuit is that up above your head to your right? Which racetrack?
That is the road course at Daytona.
Ah, Daytona. There it is. All right. I know some people are going to be watching going, what exactly is that? Is that an antenna that he's got? No, that is a racetrack, folks. Now, the question is, have you been on that racetrack?
I have taken my personal car on that racetrack.
And there it is. And that is another episode in itself. Loads of fun with Barrett. Love that guy. He's a lot of fun, very knowledgeable, and very excited for him taking on his new challenge at Binarily. I think he's going to crush it. And he's got a great group, a great following of C-levels that have followed him along the way. So Binarily is lucky to have him on their team. Speaking of team, I want to send out a shout out and another thank you to Tier 4 AI and their team for being our sponsor today. Time is money and money is crime. So why are your team still chasing alerts? Tier 4 AI automates every security alert with full stack, love this word, remediation and real-time response at the edge. This isn't just next-gen SecOps. This is built by the people who have built the cloud. Reduce time, save money, stay secure. That is Tier 4 AI. Go to tier4ai.com for more. To catch more full-length Epic Hype episodes like the one you saw here today, you guys can go over to Epic Starts with EP. That's Epic Starts with EP. You can also find more entertaining episodes and clips on YouTube. Search the Epic Hype Show, and please be sure to give it a thumbs up and a subscribe. Just go over to YouTube, type in Epic Starts with EP, and you guys will have access to all the videos that we have there, just like the one we did here today with my friend Barrett. That's a wrap. Tied up with a bow. My name is EP. This is Epic Hype, reminding all of you that everything epic starts with EP. We'll see you guys on the next show.
Let me get a